Hey, what's up guys? It's Gathalion and welcome back to my studio. Now, since the last time we stepped foot in here, there's been a few additions and modifications to my streaming setup, so I thought I would go over those with you, as people often ask me for details on my setup on stream. Now, the things that are the same, we're gonna go over first. So I am running 3 Sony 51-inch displays. For monitors, those are my primary monitors, but I have added 2 new monitors to my setup. The one that sits directly in front of me is a ViewSonic touchscreen monitor, also runs at 1080p, the same as the 3 Sony TVs. And to my right is an LG ultra-wide monitor that I usually put things like Discord and Spotify up on. So whenever I am streaming, I usually have OBS set up on the right TV. The reason I do that is I have my camera directly in front of the right TV. So when I look over at the camera to sort of eye contact whoever's watching, I'll also be looking directly at myself so I can kind of make eye contact with myself. Also, whenever any of my alerts pop up, I can see them on the right TV. They're not obstructed by the camera right in front of me, so when I get a subscribe or a tip, I look and make eye contact at the camera as I'm looking past it at whoever is popping up on the alert. That I feel is really important for my setup because it creates a sense of eye contact and recognition that I think is really important inside of live streaming. So below the displays, I still do have 2 sets of consoles, and I've added a third. The reason I did the third set of consoles was back in August of 2015. We did a Destiny Con in Tampa, and I had a bunch of the streamers come over, and we were doing Trials of Osiris. Same room trials, so I got another set of Xbox and PlayStation for that. Now there's a bunch of streamers who have actually moved to my local city, and we can have them over. Everybody can play on their accounts, they can have their own display, and we can do same room streaming. Again, a bit of overkill having 3 Xbox Ones and 3 PlayStations, but same room fire teams feel really, really cool, and it's a lot of fun to do. Also, thank God for tax write-offs, am I right? Next, we'll recap on my audio setup. I'm still using the RE320 professional studio mic from Electro Voice, and I know they make a RE20 edition, which I think gives the voice just a little bit more warmth. I think it was also another $200, so that's why I went with the RE320, albeit still a pretty expensive mic, coming in around $300. I've also been using, for the longest time, a Boss RC505 loop station, which lets me do all the layers and reverb and echo and bassiness on my voice effects that I like to use in my stream. All of this feeds into an external sound card that goes in USB into the computer. I also have a 6-channel mixer on the far end of my desk that connects a second RE320 that I use for any guests that show up, as it does tend to pick up much better if the person speaking into it is closer, as all mics do. On the camera side of things, I am using a Canon Vixia G30, which is an incredible 60 frames per second 1080p camera. I have that feeding via HDMI into an internal capture card on my computer. I decided to move away from the standard streaming webcam, the C920, a while ago, as it was limited to 30 frames 1080p, and it did still hit that limitation on the USB side of things. Also, sending a camera signal USB and a capture card signal USB is something that I ran into some limitations to on certain motherboards. I absolutely 100% recommend, if you can, to go over to a nice camcorder feeding out through HDMI into a capture card into your computer. I'm using 2 separate capture cards within my main streaming computer. One is the Magewell XI100D USB-HDMI, and the other one is an internal Magewell XI100XE, which is an incredible internal card. Both of these cards are plug and play. I can't recommend enough using these two cards if you're a streamer. There's absolutely no latency. The quality is incredible. As long as you have the hardware to back it up on your machine, you'll be good to go. I have an i7 inside my streaming computer, and it's also running SLI, so I can support, I believe I'm now at 5 monitors, so I needed to go SLI to support this many monitors. It was giving me trouble without going SLI. It was being quite the booger. So that's for my streaming PC. It's also got 32 gigs of RAM in it. It's got the double 980s, which really is unnecessary for a streaming PC. I've just gotten a couple builds from CyberPower, and I've consolidated a lot of hardware into one unit. Speaking of CyberPower, I do have another gaming PC, which is the newest addition to my setup, is the double PC setup for when I stream off of PC games. I have a second CyberPower PC that is liquid cooled, also uses an i7. I believe it's overclocked to 4.2 gigahertz, using 32 gigabytes of DDR4 memory, and once again going SLI with the 980s. Kind of waiting on NVIDIA to put out that next gen, the Pascal architecture. I'm really excited for that. So I actually have my PCs and my consoles feeding into a splitter. The splitter then goes to the primary screen that's directly in front of me, and then one signal goes back into my streaming PC, which picks it up on the external capture card, and then one more line goes to an Elgato HD60 that I actually have feeding into a laptop, so I can record raw footage while I'm streaming at max quality without my overlays and my commentary, so I can use it for B-roll at a later time, something I need to get into using more often. I only have that running ever so often. So that'll wrap it up for Setup 3.0. Some miscellaneous other hardware you've seen out there is a couple SCUF controllers. You also might have seen my my Turtle Beach Elite 800 headset that I usually wear when I'm not on stream. I can't wear over ears on stream for too long. They make my ears sweat, but it is a great quality headset and I enjoy using it. And I've really enjoyed having the SCUFs as well. You also may have pointed out that thorn in the background. That was a gift from my buddy Professor Broman for my birthday as a sweet little prop. My setup is pretty unique when it comes to Twitch, and as a beginning streamer, you probably don't need any of this, but this room is something that I've put together over the last few years, and it's really built for comfort and my needs for streaming, and it is definitely very unique as far as what I've seen. I think, personally, I really like the laid-back, loungy style of my studio. So feel free to sound off in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time on the next setup. Bye-bye.